Cafe for the awesome content provided to you for AEP. So welcome everybody to the first Medicare Cafe of the 2022 AEP season. As always, I'm Olivia.
Now, Mike and Lee, we will get your question in just a minute because it's a phenomenal question. But today we're talking about repetition. And as we talked about in the past couple of weeks, the cafes do get shorter in AEP because we know you have limited time.
Yeah.
So we'll hopefully go maybe 15 minutes a day, give or take. But again, if you have questions, we'll keep this going if we're answering questions. But our content has been abbreviated to give you more time in the field and just make this more palatable.
I like what Brian said, and I know that's a sentence that never comes from my mouth, but he says, I think come here to be entertained. It's like a work recess.
I like that.
I like that. I'm going to use that. We are your work recess. We're your coffee breaks. But today, Mike wanted to talk about repetition, something we always talk about, repetition, aka consistency, why AEP is important.
Yeah, because this guy, the good old Joe Namath, how many times do your clients see this? And the kicker is, it doesn't start October 1st. In fact,
they never stopped.
No, my lovely wife and Louise, who works here in our e-enrollment department.
Yeah, well, Louise, shout out.
We all went to Texas Roadhouse, which for a chain restaurant
I love
has
Texas
great
Roadhouse.
ribs. Yes.
It's like, I can go ham on some Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah. So we're at Texas Roadhouse and they have TVs all over. And guess what was on? It was like 7:30 at night because we're champions. We eat late because we're adults.
My kid's in bed by then.
I know. We were exhausted. But this commercial came on while we're sitting there. Of course, we paid attention, or me and Louise did, because we're in the industry. My wife could care less. But point is, these commercials, like Olivia said, hadn't stopped. They just go all year. They might be not as frequent over the summer months, but they still are out there during The Price is Right, during Jeopardy, during Matlock, and all those other programs that are geared towards the senior demographic.
Honestly, the biggest change that I'm seeing now is that you're seeing the infomercial spots where they used to sell like underwater microwaves and things like that. Those infomercial spots are now being taken by Joe Namath and
Immediate fish sticks.
Yes, it's now being taken up by that. So it's not so much like the commercials that people are seeing. I'm not seeing a huge increase in the commercials. I am seeing like the infomercials and things like that going on right now. It's just crazy. And that's something we talk about all the time. How are you competing with Joe Namath? When we did our AEP boot camp, and we looked at what were the top search terms used when people were trying to look up Medicare options, the Medicare helpline was like the 5th most frequented Google search.
Yeah.
And so why is that happening? It's because of familiarity. It's because of frequency. Science tells us it takes somebody between 5 and 12 times to see a message before they act on it. I guarantee you they're seeing this ad way more than 5 to 12 times. In fact, Mike did some math.
Yeah, it was hard. So let's say your client sees it 4 times a day, because that's probably how often you're going to see it. 54 days in AEP, that means you're going to see it 216 times between October 15th, December, not including now, not including these next couple weeks. Just in the enrollment part of AEP, they're going to see it over 200 times. If it takes 9 views, we say it takes 7, but I was conservative, went 9 to take action. That means they'll have 24 times to take action in AEP to call us 800 number. And that's strong. When you see the same commercial over and over and over again, over time, it's like, well, it must work. They keep advertising. So maybe there's something to this. Maybe I'll dial that number, just ask a couple questions. And then before you know it, they got a new packet in the mail.
Oh, it's crazy. And again, it just happens so much that people are familiar with it. What we tend to see is whenever somebody sees a message over and over again, what happens a lot of times is that people put it in the back of their mind, but that subconscious is so impactful that it really makes that step to picking up the phone and making a call not seem like a huge step, because that familiarity inadvertently equals trust. Really great question we had from, and I can't see that far away, I'm not wearing my glasses. Vito was asking about, they say people are going online to search for Medicare plenty of times this year. We talked about that a lot in the AEP boot camp. Should we invest in any specific lead types for AEP? So, Mike, like you mentioned, what we're seeing now was really growing is that people, in order to research Medicare, they're going online, but they're still going to friends, families, and things like that. Asking the question about what types of leads are good this time of year. Internet leads are just definitely a double-edged sword. Internet leads, they are good because people are actively going online for this, but an internet lead works very similar to a mail order, as in like they click a button, fill out the information. So they don't always realize that they're asking to talk to an agent. They don't really know what they're filling out. And the problem with internet leads is that they're considered cold after 3 minutes. So during AEP, when you get that lead that comes in, if you can't pick up the phone immediately and call that person within 3 minutes, it's actually a waste of your time. And internet leads can be extremely expensive, between $26 to $32. You can waste a lot of money on internet leads, even though that's where the people are going. They're really expensive, and it's really just not realistic for an individual agent to keep up with them.
It really is about it being immediate, because what happens when you have to reset a password on a website, right? You go hit reset password and you immediately go to your email address and you're like, it should be there by now. It should be there right now because I just clicked the little, reset password. Or anything we do online where there's something going to be sent to us, it's almost like we expect it to be there now because we know it's automated and we know that it should just fire right off. The same happens when you're shopping. When I say I'm interested in this, I expect the results right away. It's like ordering Chinese food. It's like I'll have and it's served.
And it's there.
And like I didn't even say anything, but you knew what I wanted already, and it's here. So
they know what you want before you know what you want.
Yeah.
Now, and so to just kind of ride that wave, talking about what is a good lead option during AEP, right now, you have about a week left for a mailer to do you any good. Right. A mailer will go from a 3 to 6 week turnaround period because the mailer has to go out. People then have to return them. So mailers are a viable way of doing this. Just keep in mind though, right now they're getting a billion pieces of mail right now. So if you're going to do mail, you're going to see probably a lesser return this time of year than you will other times of year. Still can get some work with that. We recommend Lead Concepts, especially during this time of year, to do those mailers. They work better with you. But you really only have maybe one more week before that's even something that's possible. So what you're looking for is something that stands out, something with a quick turnaround period or turnaround time. I recommend, cold calling is something we do. Of course, do not cold call MA, do not cold call PDP. You call and get them to be like a Medicare, excuse me. You can cold call for MedSup, but more so like dental, vision, hearing tends to be a quick, easy, get your foot in the door product. I love Facebook leads this time of year, especially due to COVID-19.
Well, not yesterday.
I do like Facebook leads this time of year and all year around.
I was kidding because Facebook went down yesterday. Yeah. That's the joke. Sorry. Yeah. If you weren't on Facebook yesterday, it actually physically was not up.
Facebook did
like
not
6 hours.
Or it was like a lot longer.
Was it longer than that?
Yeah, it was like from So Facebook leads, you probably didn't get your money's worth yesterday, but usually it does. And I like them because they are not as time sensitive. We've seen Facebook jump up tremendously, the usage of it in the senior demographic, especially during COVID-19. And it actually goes up at the end of the year because people are on there to see Halloween pics, holiday pics. There's a lot of really fun content towards the end of the year that this demographic will get on there as well. So we have a lot. We actually have a webinar coming up at the end of this month called Avoiding the November Lull. We'll be talking about cool, fun, quick turnaround marketing and lead generating techniques. So I went on a tirade. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay because you led up to some great points. And I would say when it comes to leads, regardless of their direct mail, Facebook, cold call, someone, preset appointments, here's what I look at. One, what's your budget? Because you can't just run one Facebook campaign and say that was good or bad. It's going to take multiple campaigns and multiple efforts to get a decent result. It's not like McDonald's ran one TV commercial and now they're wildly successful. It's a constant revolving message that people see.
Consistency.
The second thing is once you get that lead, then what happens? Because a lot of people, and we've seen this in time again in lead studies, where they get one phone call and that's it and nothing else.
Maybe 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, and in most of these surveys, it says it takes 6 to 7 touches or attempts to get them on the phone and get them to respond. So what's your budget? But also, once you get that lead, what happens? What's your process after you get that lead that you're going to work it and treat it like you paid for it and not just a byproduct of marketing?
Brian, I don't know that song, so I'm not going to sing it because I can make up words. I don't know that song.
You don't know that song?
It's been 1 week.
Been 1 week since I looked at you. Bum, 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 bum. Yes, I don't know the
I
words
don't
either,
feel like
apparently.
you singing it is going to help me understand it. But anyways, when it
Yes.
comes down here is that the biggest takeaway I take from this is that we cannot compete with the marketing budget of Joe Namath and now Joe
Right.
Montana and you know all these people who are bringing in and taking up these huge blocks of time on the TV. We can't compete with that. So you need to focus on advertising that's in it for the long haul. What's your
Yes.
free marketing? What are you doing on Facebook? What are you doing on your website? What are you doing for networking, doing some of those grassroots stuff? And mostly, what is the message that you're saying? How are you going to help them in a way that Joe Namath can't? You don't have his Hall of Fame records. What do you have?
Yeah, and how many times will we be reaching out to your clients as AEP? Because again, they're going to see the Joe Namath ad at least 200 times, give or take. How many times we hear from you? It's that's fostering that relationship. And we've joked in the past about like it's dating. If I went on my first date with Megan, my now wife, she'll get smart one day and get rid of me. But for now, she's my wife.
For now.
And if we went on one date, and I'm telling all my friends that, yeah, this is my wife, Megan, she's like, we went on one date. Who do you think you are? Like, she would run away. This guy's psycho. Same thing with your clients, though. If you sat down with them once and sold an insurance policy, that was a transaction. The relationship comes in the post part. How often are you contacting them? How are you keeping up to date on Medicare stuff? All this stuff. That's when the relationship forms, not during the transaction.
I really like that analogy.
That's scary, huh?
That was a good one.
Thanks. So, and there's different ways, obviously, to reach out to your clients. I would say, you know what, which one's right? There is no right answer because while some may respond well to emails, some others may respond better to text, some others may respond better to letters. I like, you know what? I like the idea of letters because everyone's mailbox while now is being stuffed, but during the year, a lot of mail is being turned to electronic. Like all my bank statements, all my credit card statements, all my mortgage, all that stuff is sent to me electronically. There's no more paper statements anymore. So if you send them something physical and during most of the year, it tends to stand out more than an email.
If you send me something that's hand addressed, I'm going to open it. Like just genuinely. I don't care if it's like a specimen container. If you send me something and it's hand addressed, I'm going to open it. So keep that in mind. But again, making sure that you're communicating and being on the platform that your clients want to be on. Remembering that that utilizing online resources is going to be key now more than ever.
And if you're looking for who to use as a lead vendor, we have a list of them on smsteam.net. If you go to services and then go to leads, there's a list of them there that you could talk to and interview and see, hey, is your method going to work with my method? And I would say, don't just jump at the opportunity to use them. Talk to them about, hey, here's my goals. Here's what I want to do. What do you suggest? Because they're the experts. Just like your clients turn to you about what should I do about insurance, turn to them and say, hey, what do I do about this marketing campaign I want to do? Because I've seen a lot of agents assume that this will work, and the lead vendor is like, ooh, we tried that before and it backfired. So we recommend doing this instead.
Yeah. Brian, really good question about Medicare Center. I have some Medicare Center updates for everybody. I want to get to that here at the end. So
which is pretty much now. Just make sure you reach out to clients multiple times as AEP because everyone else will be.
So
follow the story.
Lee asked a really great question. Well, let me give everybody on here really quick before I get Lee's question some Medicare Center updates. Reminder, Medicare Center is the enrollment shopping platform used by all the integrity partners. So a couple updates to give you guys on there. You'll notice on the Medicare Center there is a new platform available. There is, of course, Medicare app, which is Connecture, Medicare Link, which is Sunfire, CSG, and then there's an option below all of that. That is the Medicare Center CRM. We've been talking about it for quite some time now. They're relaunching it, going into AEP. That CRM now has the capability to shop and enroll clients to the scope of appointments. So you now have 3 different platforms within Medicare Center to choose. My favorite currently is Medicare app. So just an update. If you have a United Healthcare corporate contract, United Healthcare corporate, just keep in mind you are going to have to have 2 different sign-ins. One for everything else they have as an individual, another with your corporation national producer number. Make sure you log in with that if you're going to quote and enroll United Healthcare, because again, that business needs to be tied to your corporate license, not to your individual. So keep that in mind. The question was talking about the preference score. The preference score is actually calculated by how you put how you put on their preferences, if they're like a sicker individual, a healthier individual, how many medications that they're on, things like that. That score will rank them based on if there's somebody sicker, it's going to have plans that might be more expensive but has like lower copays, lower deductibles. It's going to put those plans higher. So I always just, what I recommend is that it defaults to lowest to highest premium. I'd recommend changing it the default to annual, total estimated annual cost.
Yes. Lee asked about explaining, and scroll up a little bit on that one. Okay.
So Lee asked a question earlier.
Where are you, Lee?
I missed it.
There it is.
How would you soften the blow for the higher deductibles with the Part D drug plan? So again, a lot of these plans have put a huge investment into their Part D plans to actually eliminate the deductible for tiers 1 and 2. The deductible only applies for tiers 3 and beyond, and a lot of these plans actually eliminated the deductible completely. If you are talking to somebody that they're on a plan that is, again, they're shopping, they're doing all the price comparisons, but for whatever reason the plan that they're on is going to see a price increase. If that's the case, I always end up looking at Medicare, or excuse me, I look at CleverRx to see, particularly this works best if you're trying to keep people out of the donut hole. Trying to look on CleverRx, which is a drug savings program, like a coupon program, and trying to see if any of the prescriptions are actually cheaper to use a coupon versus using their insurance. Again, trying to keep them out of that donut hole, trying to stop them from having to utilize that deductible. But again, always make sure every single year you are price shopping Part D plans, just to make sure that your client is on the plan that's going to fit their lifestyle, fit the prescriptions that they're on.
Yeah, and real quick, someone asked where are these experts or where you get these leads. If you go, again, this is smsteam.net, obviously Senior Marketing Specialist website. You go to services and then you go to leads, phone and mail leads. Scroll down and there's all our lead partners right there. Prospect Boss, ARM, Target, Secure, Legacy, Lead Concepts, and Lead Heroes. So you could drop down, look at what they offer. There you go. You get 10% off the Lead Heroes and any other deals we have. So check that out. And of course, if you have questions, call us. You know, hey, this is my goal. This is what I want to happen. This is my desired end result. How do I get there? And we'll help you map out that process.
Aaron asked the question with Medicare Center that right now we're not able to see non-licensed or non-contracted plans. That will change. Right now, the way that they work, especially through Medicare app, is that the Medicare app has to get which is Connecture, has to get their information from CMS. Mm-hmm. CMS does not make that available to anybody, even Connecture, until 10/1. So if you're seeing some things missing on your stuff or you're not seeing the contracted plan button, it's because we haven't been able, Connecture hasn't been able to actually upload everything into their system yet. They told us by today, they're really hoping to have everything in the system, but I'm telling people by the 15th. By the 15th, they will for sure have everything. They're hoping to have it done by the end of today.
I mean, the government isn't doing this smooth and effortlessly?
I know, it's honestly shocking.
I know.
I know everybody is very surprised. Let me go back up here and see if we can answer any more questions.
Yeah, but definitely, I would say when it comes to leads, more important than the leads you get is how you work them. Hands down, that's far more important than what you get. Because I've seen some agents with very sparse leads do very well. I've seen agents with abundance of leads just fall on their face.
Brian said that, who was that? George Brett, who is a Royals Hall of Famer, is now pimping the Blue Cross Medicare Advantage plans right now. Again, everybody's talking about Joe Namath, it worked for them. Everybody's jumping on the celebrity endorsement train.
It's like the minivan. Chrysler came out the minivan in the mid 80s, and now everyone has a minivan. Mm-hmm. Just like Joe Montana is now the spokesperson for, I don't know when that starts. It was just announced that he's the spokesperson for WellCare. So WellCare's got Joe Namath, Blue Cross Blue Shield has got George Brett. And again, I bet you a lot of these larger carriers with local presence will start grabbing some of these local celebrity legends that, you know, because again, George Brett, he's popular in the baseball world, but super popular. Even if you don't follow baseball in Kansas City, you know who George Brett is. Right. Just like if you go to California, I'm sure they have their not small, but they're more localized celebrities. They'll be, you know, for the right amount of money, I'd Also on underwater microwave.
Mary asked, for the UHC Corporation corporate license, when will we be able to see with UHC on our comparison, regardless of having to sign in? So again, right now, again, if you have a United Healthcare corporate license, when you log into Medicare Center, you're logging in using your individual NPN. That works completely fine for every single carrier except for United Healthcare. United Healthcare requires brokers to write with their corporate license if they have one. So right now, what people are doing when they're logging in, and the reason why we didn't see that and with the previous year, there was some back end stuff. So things that we didn't have to worry about for 2021, we're now having to deal with in 2022. What's going to happen is right now, once those show non-licensed plans become available, which again, hopefully by the end of the day, definitely by the 15th, you'll be able to see United Healthcare then. You just won't be able to enroll in it using your personal NPN, which I honestly don't recommend using Medicare Center to enroll in United Healthcare anyways, because United Healthcare has the HRA program, which pays you up to, I think, like $50 if you are going to have somebody complete that program. So it's worth it to use Lean to actually enroll. I understand though right now it is super hindering to not be able to shop and compare UHC with everything else.
Yeah.
All right, Greg says, Brian's laughing at the way that I eat donuts. Yeah, if you put a donut in front of me, it's as good as gone. Greg says, I've seen insulin capped at $35 in commercial Medicare plans. Can we look up the PDP and the MAPDs that have that $35? So yeah, there are lists available of the carriers. I've not seen any carrier that participated in it last year has chosen to participate again this year. I've not seen any major additions to those lists, but we do have a list. You can call our office of who is participating in the $35 insulin program.
Which is a great program, by the way.
It's very helpful.
Phenomenal. Yeah, and like Greg said, the $50 for UHC, any of these things, why not? You know, if a carrier is going to pay you a couple extra bucks to use their online platform or take a couple extra steps, definitely do it. It's going to enhance the benefit for your client. It's going to pay you a little more commission. It's just the only downside is you have to use their platform, which is streamlined for their products. So why not?
Yeah. Brian, let's see.
Great. What's our number? Here, we'll show you what our number is.
Aaron asks, can we refresh the memory on which carriers we cannot use for Medicare app? So actually, WellCare is available on Medicare app this year for enrollment. So you are able to use that to enroll Medicare and Medicare app. The carriers that you can't use to enroll Medicare app are going to be carriers that are considered non-commissionable or carriers that you do not have through an integrity partner. So just keep that in mind. If you have like your United Healthcare through Senior Marketing Specialist, but your Aetna's through Agent Pipeline, that's fine. We're both integrity partners, so you can utilize a Medicare Center on both of those. However, if you have your WellCare through a non-integrity partner, you can shop for it, but that would not be enrollable on Medicare Center.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Mary.
Yes.
Lee asked, when we submit signed apps and signed scope of appointments to SilverScript, how do we know that they are being enrolled? So are you saying, Lee, like a paper application, you're submitting those on paper? If you have those contracts through us, we always recommend that you utilize our e-enroll department if you're doing paper applications. And again, that contract is through Senior Marketing Specialist. We have a department here that will process those applications. We always send, so we always send an email at the end of the day letting you know that we have received your application. Of course, we scrub it and submit it for you. So again, that only works if the contract is through us. If the contract is not through us, we cannot process it because of HIPAA regulations.
So if he uses the online platform, how does he know they're enrolled?
It should, again, what it should do is have a way for you to actually check the statuses of your apps online. If you don't know how to do that, go to our toolkit, which is again right here. AEP toolkit, click on that. It'll have all the how to do everything, how to check status of applications. It'll have all that information for your MA and PDP carriers.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to work directly with the carriers on that. I can go to their portal.
Yeah,
because they're the final say in who's gonna get enrolled, who's not.
Yeah, it's again, we can teach you on how to check their portals. Of course, we're more than happy again to check the statuses of your applications. However, during AEP, senior marketing support and agent support, agent resources turnaround time does get lengthier. We do typically on a normal day, we try to respond within 12 hours. during AEP, because of the influx, that turnaround time can be up to 48 hours. So if you're, wanting to not necessarily have to, wait on a situation like that, then we can teach you on how to check the book of business.
Yeah, and I would say, you know what, it wouldn't hurt. And I know we did this, and when I was full time in the field, I would take a day, in fact, or have my wife do it. Like every Saturday morning.
You guys got divorced.
No kidding, huh? Every Saturday morning, I would double check your work. Like double check, okay, here's everyone I wrote this week, and just do a quick scan through while you're having your morning coffee of, okay, is everyone enrolled? Are there any hiccups? I need to catch it now, because catching it quickly helps your clients.
Yeah, what did I do?
It makes you proactive for your clients. There's nothing wrong with checking it, except it takes some time. And once you get used to signing in and where to go, it becomes a very fluid process. So I would say maybe every Saturday morning, double check your work, depending on how busy you are, of course, or have someone in the office do it for you. Just pick a time slot every week between 9 and 10 o'clock. We're double checking our apps.
I do really, really, really want to encourage everybody to, like Mike said, please check your apps. Every single year we have somebody that will get a call December 9th and say, like, hey, none of my business is showing up anywhere. We find out that they were sending something to the wrong fax number, or they were, using a wrong username or password, and throughout AEP they thought everything was fine, and next thing you know, they have a whole mess to clean up. So please make sure you are checking the statuses of your applications throughout all of AEP.
Right. So yes, who has two thumbs wants to be your insurance agent? This guy.
I love that. That was a really good ad, Brian.
So Brian had an ad in Kansas City, or in Independence, or Blue Springs, wherever it was, somewhere in Kansas City, that was him on a billboard and said, "Well, has two thumbs wants to be your insurance agent?" This guy. It was clever. It was a good ad. I applaud you for that. So if you have clever ads, feel free to share them with us. We always love to see that stuff.
We get a good joke. Good little chuckle out of that.
We appreciate humor.
So, all right, guys. Well, we said we're going to keep it short, but thank you guys for all your questions on all your interactions.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, Mike, we do have some input we love from you guys. There were some ideas floated around talking about turning the audio from the Medicare Cafe episodes into podcasts, so that if you're not able to actually make it on Tuesdays and you're driving to and from appointments, or you're driving home after work and you wanted to listen to us, that is something that we are thinking about making available. So if that is something you're interested in, I know Lisa mentioned earlier that she would love for us to utilize and do turn the episodes into podcasts.
She said something about falling asleep to us.
Yeah, she says it would be something really, really good to turn on to help me sleep at night. So, but if
we're that entertaining, is what you're saying.
If you are somebody that would really like to have these episodes again, it would be the same content. It would just be in podcast format, so you don't have to have to sit in front of a computer and watch us. Just let us know. Love you too, Lisa. We appreciate your feedback. But yeah,
we could do some like what is it called? ASRM, whatever it is.
AMSR.
AMSR, where it's like
audio.
Welcome to Medicare. Thank you. That wouldn't work? No?
I just see girls with really long nails doing this. I don't know what it means.
We could just be like filling out apps really close to our microphone.
Like you just be listening to like my iPad. Anyway, so yeah, let us know what you think.
There was an email that went out. Fill out the survey. It's literally one question. Would you listen to us? Yes or no? And then if you want to enter to win some Medicare Cafe swag, that's available too. We got some mugs and we have some coasters we're going to start sending out to people who enter in that for a chance to win.
Brian, quick question. We have a question from Deborah to Brian asking, how did that campaign work for you? Who should be your agent and has two thumbs? This guy. What kind of did you see any results from that? Did you get people who mentioned seeing it? Was it something that
it was a build? I mean, it was inside the building. Yeah. So yeah, Brian.
Let us know, Brian. You have the floor, Brian. Let us know. Let us know. That's scary. Nobody wants that.
Oh, very well. It was outside my church. Huh.
Interesting, and it didn't catch on fire.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
God wasn't like blasphemy. Interesting.
Yes, God changed the phone number, but still.
Awesome. So for Brian, it actually went very well. It was a really well ran campaign, and again, matches Brian's personality. So that's always something really good. If you want to be fun and silly and have that, making sure that you can fit that persona.
I did one where I was an angel. It was a tad sacrilegious. Yeah, I mean, know your audience.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Again, if you have any questions or comments, let us know. Give our office a call. Happy AEP, guys. We really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Stay tuned for some cool giveaways we'll be doing, as well as some fun games that Mike and I will be playing.
Yes. So until next time, have fun, make money, and
give impeccable service. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.